Uh, hey losers! Now it's recording. Welcome to the first episode of Submitted for Your Disapproval, where me, Acoustic, and Excalibur mech are going to rip your cards apart. Now it's your cue, guys.
Hi, I'm Excalibur Mech.
Acoustic, say something.
I am acoustic. I am here against my will.
I
Very,
mean, we both are, but I figured I figured the audience knows that.
very brilliant
Shut
charisma, everyone. Can I make the Discord any louder?
We are here to make you suffer.
Okay, so
All
now
of you.
everyone sees the card Armored Tortoise, which I don't know
Yes.
why there's tortoise and turtle in English, but they do that. And so let's. And who wants to start?
Alright. Armored Tortoise is a 2-cost spirit turtle from nowhere in particular with active. Gain untargetable this turn. So, I could see one place where you could theoretically run this if you wanted to, which is like, I guess it is a repeatable active that can trigger active synergy stuff. And that's hard to kill because it has 4 HP and it kind of just constantly has untargetable, which makes it difficult to get rid of. But also, that's the only thing that this is doing. This is also this also goes into the scout pool for spotted turtle, so that is dilating that a little bit. So I guess it's supposed to be a tool for this theoretical turtle tribal that may or may not amount to anything. In its current state, a 4 health close to unkillable unit might be a possibility to include in a generic dot lists, but that's about it.
Here's the thing, Acoustic. I submitted 2 mana 1 for untargetable without the active already because that's on curve. Untargetable is 1 stat point unless it has other abilities.
Yeah, certainly. I'm not saying this card is good. I'm saying, like, there are places where it theoretically can do things. It is a unit for dot, and dot is busted, and I guess if our active payoffs get like crazy enough that just a unit having an active that makes it not die is worth using, then this would be a pretty good candidate for that. But that would have to be a can list, considering this is spirit and a lot of active payoffs are currently in mind.
I honestly feel like if this did somehow, through the miracle that is the universe, gets in, I feel like at most this could maybe be used in like Fusion Project. If you can get lucky and get that active attached to like another like unit's ability you really want to keep alive. But beyond that, I kind of don't see like how like anyone would play this, because the active gains untargetable that turn. It only lasts 1 turn. Then next turn it can be targeted for anything. And I mean, beyond, like, how do I phrase this? I argue either something just has protection innately, either because it's a useful thing to have, or it's just, part of its gimmick, like, that the one knight from Seraphel, like the mind 1-drop that just has untargetable.
Knight of the Pristine.
Yeah, that. But like, every time you use the active, it gets untargetable. Okay, it does, unless you figure out a way to ready it without targeting it. It's kind of just a 1/4 that just does nothing.
Yeah.
I honestly just don't like it.
Also, what is the flavor of this? Because you have a turtle and it becomes untargetable. Like, does it bury? I don't think this kind of turtle buries itself in the underground.
I think turtles hide in their shells. I think that's what it means.
Yeah, but that's still targetable, just pretty tough. Like, I can target a hidden turtle. Like, I won't because I don't want to harm turtles, but I could if I needed to. So yeah, this is pretty bad. But the art is lovely. And yeah.
This is very bad, yes.
Oh god, this shit.
My God,
Guys,
this
look,
really is a week
card is
of
blank.
winners.
It's a.
Okay, so first question, does it work?
I don't think it works. Blank has to be a unit with no abilities. It needs an ability
Currently,
just
no.
to be blank.
Currently, no. Blank is not an ability, it is a characteristic.
Maybe it's blocked.
This is similar to native or non-native.
Maybe it's blocked, so like it only displays the blank when in the building, but during the actual game it's silenced? Question mark?
Probably not.
I mean,
I mean,
because
It
this
could.
refers to
It's a
the...
It could, but
characteristic.
also why does this have text in the first place?
Well, here's the thing, Acoustic. I think that one of the issues we have with vanillas for the blank deck, I mean, it's a really silly issue, but you can't really search for them. This is the only defense of the card I can make. It's not really passionate because it doesn't have flavor or anything. It doesn't work, it's dumb. But yeah, it's pretty much the only good thing about it is that you can search for it. But it probably doesn't work.
How do you search for this?
Well, you search by blank in the
Then.
collection. Which you can't really do with normal blanks, you know?
Oh.
But
Oh,
yeah.
I get what you're saying. So, like, if you want to build a blank deck, you couldn't search up blank in the search bar and then find all the like cards with no abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, I think that's I mean, that's just deck building. That's not actually playing the deck.
Yes, but it's just a minor defense. I don't really. I just wanted to say it. Well, there you go, everyone. That mucho texto.
Ah, hell nah. Okay, Battle for the Skies is a 0 mana mind action from nowhere in particular. With reveal the top card of both decks to trigger the corresponding aspect. If your card costs more, you return a card from your graveyard to your hand. The enemy can choose to shuffle into your deck. If they do, you draw a card. If theirs cost more, you bounce this card and then swap it with the top card of your deck. Then reverse your deck order. So this would move to the bottom of your deck, and the bottom card of your deck would move to the top, and other miscellaneous crap. And if they both cost the same, you replay the effect? Question mark?
No, it's banish the cards revealed by it banishes the two cards, and then I think it means it's supposed to force. I think it's like it combines the two cards into one, and then you play it.
No.
I honestly, the war is kind of confusing.
War is
I'm having a
fucking
stroke.
incomprehensible. Yes.
Could I just,
okay.
may I just bring up something? So, I'd like to speak up first. Earthbound. So, if it turns out you reveal it costs nothing, you reveal top two cards of your deck. If your opponent's cost more, that triggers Earthbound. You bounce Battle to the Skies. It returns to your hand, and then like you do some weird deck shit. Does that mean you could just infinitely play that? Because if so, and you're lucky and you have this in like one of those action decks, could you get a lot of value out of it and just like kill your opponent if you have like the spell shot?
Theoretically, if the top and bottom cards of your deck were also copies of Battle for the Sky, no wait, this does not draw.
What the fuck is the flavor of this?
I have no idea.
I mean, the art is pretty abstract.
This has a lot of words, and it boils down to either you can put the bottom card of your deck on top of your deck, or 0 mana coffin that sometimes is just 0 mana draw. So yeah, okay, Skybound is just kind of bullshit.
Not particularly compelling card design.
You just return a card to your hand and either Okay, moving on.
Forgotten Chest. Forgotten Chest is a 1-cost neutral action from nowhere in particular with collect 1 possum. What is a possum? A possum is a
It's
counter
part of Winton.
for the card Possumama, where when you play it at the end of your turn, if you have 5 possums, you win the game.
I've actually done a similar concept, but it was a unit that just like while it was in play, it had a passive that gave you +1 possum. But that card didn't really get very well in. Honestly, Possum almost probably closer to just a one-off card more than anything.
Well, because no one who actually plays the game likes Possum Mama very much. It was made for people who don't play it.
Also, what the fuck is with the flavor? Am I allowed to curse here?
Well, the flavor is that it's
I think we already did.
I think it's
I don't know if I'm gonna be censored.
The flavor is like pretty much the Binding of Isaac ending cutscene when you open the chest.
And you find like a dead possum.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoever is posting anonymous, sweet lord, you're a madman and not in a good sense.
Well, it's probably Monsterland, but maybe Love Palm or my guitar doesn't do that. She just uses the what was it called again? The parrot that doesn't post anonymous, but yeah. Not a fan of the archetype. I don't think anyone is, so well really is, but
I hope we get finally a legit card.
The Demonic Sigil is a 5-mana strength spell from nowhere in particular with deal 5 damage to a unit. Slay. Choose a demon that costs 2 or less in your deck to force play. This was posted last week as a 4-mana card that dealt 4 damage, and it was wildly accepted that the card was too good at that cost, so it's been scaled up.
So yeah, it's probably fine at this point. I'm not sure if I care about demons here. Like, what are demons right now? Does anyone know?
I could look it up. I don't think. Are there any low-cost demons?
Bottle Robber is a good target for this.
Well, you know what would be cool, and this is of course my card, but Blood Painter would be actually fun together with this. But like, aren't they both too late? Like, isn't it very late into the game for a 2-drop?
A little bit. Let's see. This can pull out Mana Muncher. This can pull out Sire of Ibadar. This can pull out Mellow Demon.
If you play it in a mind deck, you can bring out the Ushi Oni Soul Burner, which I mean that's like life gain hate, but that seems very niche.
Oh no, that's not a very niche card at all.
My brother and Chrysler paid 6 mana for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I like the design. It just doesn't amount to anything I care about, honestly.
I agree. This feels very weird at the moment.
I honestly, yeah. I mean, maybe if this design's done for like a different tribe or something, maybe it'd be more like I'd probably be more likely to upvote it.
I think what I would do is that instead of upscaling, I would lower the damage. Like still for possible like 3 damage or something like that. So yeah,
I can do that.
For now it's a down vote, not speaking about the art again, but everyone knows what I think about it.
You say that like they know about it.
Well, some people know, some don't. You know how it is in this bitch of a world. Hit ray, silence a unit, banish it, take 4 damage.
So
someone forgot to get rid of one of the spaces.
Yeah.
What?
It looks like there's an extra space where there isn't between I think it's between the 4 and damage, right?
Yes.
I don't know. The cards sometimes are very weird with their spaces, aren't they?
Alright, so.
I mean, I like the art.
And that's about it. This is 4 mana to silence and banish a unit, which is grossly overcurved. The take 4 damage is a very minor downside, and certain decks can even be an upside. Like, this card is ridiculous, and I think if it gets in, will pretty much.
This is literally just this is straight up just go to Wyoming, but like it's reminding me of that.
Yeah, go to Wyoming. It is well.
Wasn't it like it was when it was really put in? It was like a 3-cost like strength exclusive
Yeah,
that just vanished a unit to Wyoming.
Yeah, it's another card just like the Possum Mama, where it wasn't made for the collective players at all. As far as hit rate goes, yeah, it is very overcurved. I will say that take 4 damage isn't either an upside.
I just looked it up. Both Wyoming and Passamama were both made by Go Chris 10.
Yes,
I don't know how
and cross-post that to get in. So as far as hit rate goes, this card seems just as strong. I will say that even in pain decks, 4 damage seems like a lot to call an upside, but it's not enough of a downside.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, too strong. And also kind of not very exciting, aside of being too strong. Okay, so Lyman card, Unrealization, event from Illusiono Genetica. So this is another event which is a Trivisor. Yay! Replace your hand with random dreams and hallucinations. They cost 1 less. It's probably pretty bad, but cool.
Stone time, let's go. I'm sorry.
For 2 mana, so for 2 mana, I can break my entire hand and fill it with a bunch of garbage, but at least it costs 1 less.
Yeah.
It is kinda cool, but it's also kinda.
I mean, okay. If there's like if there's like a really useful like dreams and hallucinations, like are there cards that like value off of you playing dreams and hallucinations?
Dreams and they have some a little bit of. There is some synergy going on there with dreams, I think. Tell me out on my bullshit if not, but.
I mean, this could also be played in like a non-native deck or something.
Yeah, I think what you do is you like use all of the prototype generation and then while trying to get ahead on board, and then you play this and it's slightly win more.
Something like that. Like I think I believe the other thing that you can do with this is to, if you have a bunch of figments in your hand, you can use this to get rid of them, to activate their effects, and get a bunch of new cards at I guess counter price. But at that point, why are you not just dream on finding out something?
Here's the thing: many dreams are actually a control card, so you get Bakubarang, hallucinations, Bakubarang, Reality Rip, Fever Dream, ideas discounted. Like this seems like a package. Or your 0 mana Nur Phoenix, your 0 mana Vague Thought. That's kind of good as far as hallucinations go. And as far as dreams go, you have of course the Midnight. How do you pronounce? Do you pronounce night and night the same? Fucking Englishman.
Yes, Midnight Sleepwalker. Yeah, that's certainly a card to get off.
Guys, I need to help my mom with groceries. Puapka, I believe you can replicate what I would say to cards.
Okay.
I apologize. I usually just don't ignore this kind of thing.
Yeah,
I apologize.
It's not a huge problem. As far as dreams go, they have more synergy. Yeah, I think there is a case to make that dreams and hallucinations have some synergy and just get good stuff cards, which makes this pretty good mana cheat. I kinda like it. I'm leaning to upvote it.
It's better than a lot of the crap on the subreddit at the moment, so I don't blame you.
I mean, I
But
generally.
like, not by much.
I think this can lead to some more interesting plays. I think we don't have enough RNG cards in collective, in my opinion, which many card players will disagree with, of course, but yeah, I think this can lead to some exciting stuff. Okay, you read now.
Tempest Dragon is a 5 cost mined elemental dragon from nowhere in particular, with agile, flying, and summon, destroy your other elementals, and slay, gain +1/+1.
So you're just a big beater without overrun?
It is a big beater with flying and agile.
Kind of bad because it
That
just.
requires you are required to nuke your entire board for like the biggest this can get is a 10/10.
Yeah, pretty much. This is bad, and in situations where it's good enough, it's uninteresting.
This feels very overcosted at 5. I think this could be like 4, and it would be pretty okay. Maybe not super amazing, but I can see a point where perhaps if the opponent is tapped out, they have no leaping blockers or anything. You can play this as a kind of finisher to convert your board into a big flyer, because in terms of flyers, elementals have Avatar of the Eternal, which it doesn't have agile, and I believe that's it.
You know, if it was.
So they do have trouble getting through like through like big walls of like gunked up boards. So this at 4 mana, I could see at being useful for that.
The thing is, if it was the matter of like power level, I would vote it because we can update it, but I kinda just don't care for the design much. And I don't think elementals care. Like you can elementals as like competent good stuff, and they'll be fine. And this doesn't really add much.
Yeah, this doesn't do a whole lot for elementals, really. Play the card is a 0-cost neutral action from nowhere in particular, with choose a card in your hand. Play it if you have the mana. This lets you play the card.
So, and I found one use case for this. So you use when opponent played Mind or Matter, Psychic Split, and then on units, and then you can use this to play a unit.
Epic.
That's everything I found for it. It's kinda terrible, isn't it?
The legendary card players always used the fingers attached to their hands to move their cards into play.
So true.
For real, for real.
This is pretty strong.
Jet Pactus is a 2-cost, 2/3 strength plant from Howdier with rage, duel the opponent. Yeah, this is like pretty good in strength decks, because this is the Savant card, blood something. Let me take a look.
Mm, this is similar to the...
Burning Blood Savant there.
No, this is very different from Burning Blood Savant, because unlike Burning Blood Savant, the scale is with buffs.
This does, yeah, this does also scale.
Which is why the Gabur costs so much, because that scaling is pretty scary, and keep in mind we have Herald in the game, which is an inherently weak mechanic, but with this...
Forget Herald, we have fucking Corlas Blast.
Yeah, that's...
One mana give this +3 attack and proc the fucking rage to swing at them for 5 or more.
Yeah, so this is just way too much, and it can only be upscaled. It can't be really nerfed in any other ways.
Let me see. If you have this on 2 and 3 Corlas on 3, you can deal 24 damage.
Absolute state.
Absolute state.
I think what I was going to say about it is that I think even if this was rage deal 2 to the opponent similar to 7, that would be still a lot in rage decks, wouldn't it?
Yeah, even without the scaling factor, it's still like a really, really strong card.
So yeah, downvote for now. Grateful Gunslinger, Demon Bard Gunslinger from Concierta. Summon, deal 1 damage to 2 random enemies. When a song enters your graveyard, trigger the summon of this card. So this is a pretty potent removal. Like very potent from what I saw from the bards. Probably retriggerable multiple times a turn, and yeah, this is a board clear most of the time.
Yeah,
with pretty high HP.
Bards have many ways to generate songs and play them, or put them into the graveyard, or discard them, or end up milling them to the hand size, or what have you. There are many ways to just keep proccing this card's effect. And this is a very powerful effect to be re-triggering, and Bards are already in a really good spot, being able to be played as both a dedicated pure deck and as part of a package in mind control lists. And this would only serve to make those decks even better, and this could be the card that pushes those decks to like tier 1 status. With perhaps the ability to actually just deny board-based strategies entirely with how much removal it's able to put out.
Yeah, so I am kind of unhappy about this.
This is half of a Plasma Dragon. Also,
no, this is half of a Plasma Dragon for 1 mana. You can retrigger it a lot. So,
yeah, like at base, this is like half a Plasma Dragon effect you could just keep doing for like 1 or 0 mana each time.
This reminds me of the time where dragons were so dominant that it kind of made rage that was very bad outside of fighting dragons good because of the random things. So this will be similar situation, though I don't really know where the rage is right now, but yeah, this is way too much. Plasma Smasher. Entrance, deal 1 damage to a unit. Rage, deal 1 damage to another ally unit and an enemy 3 times.
Do note that does not say ally unit. It says ally. So this can hit your face for 3 pain procs if you need it for that. And the enemy part can also just hit your opponent's face directly.
So yeah, it's pretty potent for both rage and pain. is it too potent? Do these decks deserve it or not? I heard Pain was pretty scary, but
Rage is in the dumpsters, and I believe Pain has fallen off after the Helden nerf. I have not seen much from that and what it can accomplish. So this might be a fine piece of support.
so I think the issue with this is it's kind of, I mean, it's red trigger rubber, but the boring part is that it doesn't really do much that Onabushi doesn't do.
Yeah, it does feel a bit very similar to Flash Tipped.
Which is kind of main reason why I don't care for it, I guess.
And Flash Tipped is probably Flash Tipped comes with a 5/3 agile over on body, which I think makes that card better in a lot of cases.
Yeah, so that's going to be a downvote then. Oh my god. It's your turn.
Oh, Thieves Guild is a 1-cost 0/3 rogue place from Sokka with can't attack and discard a card, create a common thief. A common thief is a 1-mana 1/1 with agile, and when this damages the opponent, steal a random card from their hand.
Can't tell if this is bad or good. I think it's bad.
It's polarizing.
I mean, at the best it's win more because it can. But I mean, discarding a card to create a 1/1 is very strong when it connects and really bad when it doesn't. Is pretty polarizing. But most of the time it won't connect.
Yeah, true. I'm perhaps thinking of the old versions of this card when the thief had unblockable on it.
I don't know how to give any meaningful feedback to it because I don't know how to balance it.
Perhaps the discard cost could be changed to just a pure mana cost. And maybe the thief could be stronger. Maybe 2/1.
So the thing is that filling your hand is pretty easy, but aggro decks don't do that much, so they wouldn't use it. How about specters? I don't know. Man, I am out of the loop on a lot of decks.
Oh, you're using this as a discard outlet for specters?
Yeah, hold on. Creating 1/1 doesn't seem too bad, and I don't know how big those specters are.
They have enough discard already, and for much better payoffs than a 1/1. Like, you have your Life Trap, you have potentially Bearer's Ritual, you have Scrying Bone, you have many good ways to discard. And
so
using a card slot on a unit that doesn't have the tribal tag, which specters really want it in the early game, because a lot of the early game units are incredibly flimsy, so they want as many specters as they can get to like try to increase the chances of proccing early, because they need to hit that level 2 like as soon as possible, and this doesn't really help for that.
So yeah, it's
specters do not want this.
It's a downfall then, but maybe I could just say something that would like help them with this design, but I don't really know how to make this balanced, I guess. The thing is, we really rarely see alternative costs like this compared to mana, but this card is kinda really not that much of a cost, but also aggro doesn't care for it. Like, this is easier for in decks that fill hands, but those decks aren't very beat down.
At the moment, I do not see a deck that wants this.
Well, this is okay. Kind of weak, but nothing wrong with it.
The Fallen One is a 2-mana 2/2 Strength Angel Knight from Seraphel, flying and Pain Herald 1.
So this is
I
very
would say
very weak payoff compared to most pain payoffs, just like dealing 1 damage to the opponent and stuff. Herald is kind of weak and slow.
yeah. It does have flying, so unlike a lot of current pain engines, this can be used as an attacker if your opponent does not have other flyers or leapers or ways to block this. This can present a clock of its own, which could be somewhat useful to those decks. But I definitely agree that the actual pain effect itself is very much on the weaker side and not very useful for pain, because pain is mostly a burn deck that uses the 1-drop and it uses Solving Sniper, Two-Fanged Snake, and Crimson Crook to basically just do a crapload of burn damage, trying to forego using the board entirely. This being a flyer is okay for that, but they could just run another flyer in that slot, because the pain effect does not particularly feel worth it. And also, a pain effect in Seraphel feels very weird in terms of flavor.
Yeah.
Welcome back. But yeah,
Sorry, I had to help like put away groceries and stuff. Sorry.
I may have lost my power, but I will never lose my will. The Fallen One. That's the flavor. So I think this is kind of different angel, but as far as Seraphel goes, but if this
I mean,
this
I
was
look
Herald,
at this and I just think it's kind of okay. I mean, I don't like. Is it really much like? Are paint decks really much a thing anymore? I know there's like all the cards for it, but I haven't really seen anyone play them recently.
but I think if this were Heralds too, it will be too much on the other hand. So, okay, what I recommend the card that it's a Herald engine that is also a good Herald target, which is pretty rare, but yeah, it's on the weaker side, but it's fine, so I think I'm going to upvote it.
Honestly, I think that's okay. Yeah.
Fine.
Excalibur needed.
Recycle is a neutral 1-cost action from nowhere in particular with put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Draw a card, gain 3 HP.
Weak.
Yeah.
And without synergy. Well, oh, because it's about the putting on the bottom of the deck, so it's like for the auras.
You don't even get you don't even discard the card, which I mean, wait,
Well,
that would just make it a different like discard a card, draw a card thing.
No, you see, actually in the putting on the bottom is good because you want this for like auras, Tremors below.
Or as tremors below.
Yes.
It's good for auras. It's good for service salmon. It's good for effects that want certain cards at the bottom of the deck, because for the longest time we have had ways to draw cards from the bottom of the deck, cards that cared about the bottom card of your deck, but we haven't really had any good ways to actually kind of sculpt the bottom card of our deck. Currently the only card that really lets us do this is Tai Chi Hand of Fate. And the problem with her is that she is 4 mana. So having an effect to put a card up on the bottom of your deck for cheap, while also get effectively not losing more CA by getting your card back and getting a little bit of health is actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And I could see that in some like slower Fortuna lists that run those cards that care about the bottom card of the deck.
Yeah, this card actually makes perfect sense. Sorry.
I quite like this actually.
My only issue is the flavor, because it's not much of a... Like, I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has similar effect, like... Well, not similar, but you could flavor the similarity to Yu-Gi-Oh! Pot of Generosity. I don't know, there's so many ways to flavor it, and it's just... Recycle. Remember, kids, to always recycle.
I mean, yeah, flavor-wise, it is kind of strange, but I mean, I do like the effect and everything.
Yeah.
Like now, like I think about it, like yeah, I see the use.
Yeah, I am out for the effect too. Yeah, just you know, when I started, I just heard that I'm going to download it, but now, yeah, this is good. Spiking cactus, plant from Howdier. Leap ambush, summon, make a flying enemy unit duel its owner.
Okay, so first off, so it has leap and ambush, right? And it's like already a 2/3. Is that possibly over curve? I feel like the summon makes it just a bit too over the curve.
Well, the summon is very situational because it's a hate card, but it's a defensive burn hate card, which makes it, in the situation where it goes off, it's not that relevant.
Well, I mean, like, but I mean, yeah, but still, it goes off. There's probably a couple of high costing like flyers, right, that deal a lot of damage.
True, I guess. But yeah, not a huge fan of these situations. I gotta say, like being dual.
Like there is O. He's like a 7 cost. He's like ward and flying and crap, right?
Yeah, but even then, it is a very fringe summon.
Yeah, this pretty much says 2 mana 2/3 leap ambush. If you're playing against Heldem, deal to damage to the opponent.
Yeah,
That's what it is for the most part.
Not very inspiring. Not very inspiring.
I guess it punishes Voltron Castiel strategies, but also like the Heldem nerf happened, and those strategies are kind of in the dumpsters at the moment.
The thing is, Voltron strategies are inherently punished by the mechanics of the game.
That too.
So yeah.
Oh, it's one of my cards.
Black Licorice Knight. Licorice isn't that bad, guys. Sweet Knight from Zakros. Ambush regenerate. Summon and start of turn, you may discard a candy or sweet to silence an enemy unit. This is pretty slow. Damn, if my Fate is a blocker, but yeah, it is pretty potent, I guess, but it is very grindy defensive mind card that can be easily just silenced and shit.
Honestly, I'm looking at this and like now I'm thinking to myself, should I have designed it to be an active instead of a start a turn? Because like I believe I wanted it to still like attack and stuff even like after the ability was used.
It's definitely better as a start of turn, I think.
Well, it does silence a unit on summon, which is pretty good. If you have a sweet, that is.
Yeah, it sounds as a unit. It sounds as a unit on summon. If it's not removed immediately, it gets to do it again. And the fact that you can use sweets to fill this card's condition instead of just candies does make it a lot better than a lot of the other discarded candy effects.
Yeah,
but the question is, currently the 5-drop slot in Sweets is taken up by Maya, and this does not replace Maya, and I'm not sure if the deck has enough room to run two different 5-drops. So I think this might be better off being scaled down to a 4-drop.
I mean, there's.
I think
Go on.
Because Sweets, to my knowledge, don't really have good 4-drops, and this is not replacing Maya. Maya is one of the best cards in the deck.
So
I think this is a good tool for Sweets to have. I think it's just in a very awkward cost.
Well, if it gets in, it can be updated, I guess, but
Yeah.
there's also another thing is there can be alternative sweet decks, I guess. Some grindy, slower controller sweet deck sounds potentially interesting. But I don't know if this is what it does it, but I think I'm going to upvote this with a caveat that probably should get above.
Popka, could I just ask, do you like the flavor? Pun intended.
No.
Should I read this one?
Sure.
Mars Rose Crystals is a mine 2-drop sweet place from Zucrose with active. Destroy this to gain 3 mana, give cards in your hand unplayable until the end of the turn, create a blue taffy and freezy pop power. So basically you refresh 3 mana and you refresh 3 mana, you can't play any more cards, and all you can do is exhaust the unit and then play 2 candies.
Well, you can use this also to ramp into the Nefted Changing Bird.
Yeah,
I mean, true.
But also
you could also use
the
the
cards this
active.
creates because they're all exhausted.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Well,
What I figured is like it makes all the cards in hand unplayable until the end of turn, and then it creates those cards, so technically they wouldn't be affected by the effect.
yes, they wouldn't. I mean, not technically, they just wouldn't be affected. And the cards it creates, it's blue, then it's an exhaust, and that exhaust allows you to create another blue taffy, which allows you to swing for a lot. Which just makes this card kind of too good. Like, because even that's the low roll that you play these 3 cards.
Yeah.
And so, not a huge fan.
This is a very question mark design.
No, it makes perfect sense. It's just too much.
The creating extra cards feels like kind of padding. Dire Moon is a 2-mana 3/3 strength astral vampire from Nora in particular with can't attack and life bond.
Okay, first off, why is this an astral vampire? Why does it have that art? And third off, I mean, just what? I don't think astral is even a tribe.
No, it's a new tribe, but I don't think this really comes together. Honestly, like this is an actual flavor downvote because this is such a nothing flavor. Like,
yes, and KM exists. You use the strength suit to give this plus 1 attack and duelist, and there you go. You have a 2-mana 4/3 life bond duelist. I don't think I need to say anything else.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be fine if it was exclusive? Because I want to talk about counter-attack and defensive units and their possibilities. Because I think that's pretty interesting. And would that be balanced if KM didn't exist?
This is still a overcurve life bonded blocker.
Yeah, but it can't attack, which is also huge.
I mean, yeah, but like here's the thing. So from what I'm looking at this, I feel like there's two ways you could take this card if you were playing in a deck. Either A, you do give it duelist as acoustic suggested, which would basically let it like, kill units and also heal you a little bit. Or B, you figure out a way to silence this thing, which kind of removes life bond and literally just makes it an adventurer.
Yeah, silencing this is very efficient. Um, yeah, you can use the acoustic 2-mana action to give this duelist and draw it from the deck, which is. But at the same time, strength control is kinda in the dumpster right now, which can be an argument for this kind of card. Yeah, once again, KM.
So, yeah. This is. Oh god, it's a pun name. I just realized it's a pun name.
Yes, it's Pride Month. I'm afraid.
Pride Demon is a 2-cost 3/3 neutral demon from nowhere in particular with your demons have chroma in all zones. Chroma means that the card has no affinity penalty in the specified affinity. If unspecified, it has no affinity penalty in all affinities.
So it's at 2-mana 3/3. Your units, your demons don't have an affinity, I guess.
Yep. Pretty much.
I mean, I'm all for demon decks, honestly, but
splash demons. You
yes.
have your blood painter. You have your wrath wisp.
But this kind doesn't really jive with blood painter and blood wisp.
Yeah, it does. This doesn't change the affinity of the cards. It merely removes the affinity penalty. So off affinity demons would still trigger splash effects.
Are you sure? I thought Chroma changes affinity.
This version doesn't. This version removes off affinity penalty.
I see. I guess that works then. Well, but then it's kind of too strong. Is it?
Yes, this is a 2-mana 3/3 with a pretty relevant upside.
At the same time, the game itself punishes splashing a lot. I don't know.
Well, a lot of our splash cards are kind of designed around the fact that like splashing is inherently hard, so they have strong effects, and this provides a very easy workaround for that.
Can I avoid this and in hope it gets nerfed? Because I want this overall.
I don't like voting like that, honestly. And personally, I don't think this will really promote interesting deck building, because I think what will happen is you'll just have this. You'll have Blood Painter. You'll have a bunch of good stuffy demons.
I don't know. That sounds pretty interesting to me.
I don't know. Essence Shifter moment.
Oops. Blaze, deal 1 damage to the unit. If you control no units, deal 2 damage to it. Fuck yeah.
So literally just turn 1, like deal 2 damage to a unit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Cat Chef, Tone Cat from Karachar. Someone choose one keywords to create a cat with frying pan in your hand with the same keyword. And the keywords are agile, flying, and live bond.
I mean, it's kind of. I kind of like it, vaguely. So like either like you create either. I mean, so you get like a cat and frying pan in hand, right? Either it has I also attack agile cat immediately flying or life bond, and the other one does get it as well.
I don't know,
You
it's
never
kind of
pick
boring.
flying.
Like a little.
Yeah, it's whether it's balanced or not, it's very boring.
Yeah. My fucking god.
This thing. I remember seeing this thing. I'd like to read this,
be the
please.
last one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go soon to go to like my food festival.
I was going to play the song that would be appropriate, but I don't want to be copyright strike, so I'm not going to. But it will be very fun.
Yeah.
And it's nothing from nowhere. It's untargetable. Summon set your HP to 0. At the end of the turn, if this is in play, destroy your opponent. It requires.
Why does this exist? Why did he design this? This is. I mean, it's straight up just summon, lose.
No,
This does one thing. This combos with one card in current standard, and that is Sunbright Crown. So if you have Sunbright Crown, you win the game. If you don't, you lose the game. This is one of the worst designs I have seen in the last time I've seen an anonymous design.
I really wish I had Wojak Marian here so he could tell us about the scale and where this lands.
The Babel scale.
But as it is, we don't know, sadly, but hopefully he leaves that in the comments.
Hopefully. Well, I feel like this is a good place to end, ironically at the end.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I hope to never see this card ever again.
Goodbye, you piece of garbage.
School of oh, this is pretty strong, holy shit.
I thought I was stopping.
Huh? Do you need
Yeah, I thought that was the last one.
Well,
He has to go.
Okay, so I mean he left before.
I mean, no, like previously, yes. I'm saying that like I'm gonna go with my sister to the food festival thing like in a couple of minutes.
Goodbye.
I mean, not yet, just in a couple of minutes. That's why I thought we were gonna end. Also, how long has this been going for?
I don't know. So this is very strong because it creates this 1-mana 1/1 that will merge.
It creates shades with chain. I don't care. Can we end now?
Okay, goodbye. Yeah, I should have probably give some kind of time.
I did like this though. I think we should try this again next week. Assuming this does well.
Well, it doesn't have to do well. Who cares about the how people will respond to it? Yeah. I really should have given some kind of timeline for this because it's kind of mean to just kind of keep you here right now.
Here, we'll just gather up some interesting cards and we'll just talk about them like actual submitted for your approval.
Well, I don't know about gathering. This was easy enough, and so just voting here, and
right.
Because we've read it, it's kind of hard to record website with OBS Studio. I mean, not that hard, but annoying for me. This was a lower effort, but yeah, maybe I kept you guys for too long. My voice is pretty strained too. Though my voice strains pretty fast nowadays. And so yeah.
Well, I'll be going.
Goodbye.
This is submitted for your disapproval.